Tonight, on a special edition of Evening, a champion martial artist who competes with just one arm, a chef who turned hard life lessons into a delicious career, an artist who lost her husband but found a new calling, and the wounded warrior teaching kids how to hit the bullseye. Northwesterners doing amazing things against the odds.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Kim. This is Jim, and we are super excited to bring you some inspiring stories tonight.
Yeah, stories about our Northwest neighbors achieving some amazing things despite the obstacles.
Yeah, we're going to start with a martial arts champion, which is a huge accomplishment for anyone, but imagine doing that with just one arm.
Well, there's a Bellingham woman who's been doing just that for years. Here's Saint.
Jiu-jitsu is such an intimate sport. You're like right on top of each other.
Boom. There you go.
Imagine being the only woman in a martial arts class.
This is controlled violence,
Now imagine grappling like this, with one arm tied down in front.
And everyone else saying, it's like, oh, be careful with your arm. You're gonna hurt yourself. Are you sure you wanna do this? You might hurt yourself. But I'm just like, no, I'm doing this.
Close it on my hip.
Despite nerve damage at birth, mostly paralyzing her left arm and making it susceptible to further injury,
Here we go.
Whoa. I tuck it away to protect it.
Your turn.
Jess Munter has been training and competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since high school.
I was a really angry teenager, oh my goodness.
Through mentors like Jeff Shaw, Jess learned to channel that anger into determination.
If you can fight while crying, you can do anything.
Here, she beats an able-bodied competitor. And twice, Jess has won world championships in the para jiu-jitsu division.
I still think about it and I get goosebumps and I just like feel that adrenaline rush, like, whew, okay.
I'm really proud of Jess for a million reasons. And most of them have nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. When she sets a goal, it's really, really difficult to stop her from achieving it.
But a pair of knee injuries may finally push Jess onto another rewarding path.
I started dancing. And it's just flooded my entire existence for the past 8 months. I've been doing it nonstop. I no longer carry a lot of the anger I had. I have a new joy for life.
No matter what career she chooses, no matter what athletic pursuit she chooses, I know she's going to be successful. I'm going to be smiling every step of the way watching her.
Just go ahead and choke the person.
Jess credits the people she calls family for helping her find her happy place.
So family means someone who's going to encourage you no matter what.
Even a world champion is stronger with a team.
I love you.
I love you too.
Hey, I'm really proud of you. You did awesome today.
Such a great story. Thank you, Saint. So Jess, who is a purple belt, says she has not ruled out competing again, but for now she is just staying focused on dancing because it's a lot easier on the knees. And honestly, probably the rest of her body. Jiu-jitsu is hardcore.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of times obstacles aren't physical, they're actually part of our past. That's the case for a South Sound chef who created an incredible dessert.
This is called The Bomb. It's kind of like a pie and a cake, and it was invented by Jesse Hill, owner of Just Real Cuisine. The cream cheese nougat comes in more than 30 delicious flavors. They are all tasty. But Jesse didn't go to culinary school. He actually taught himself how to cook in prison, where he spent 21 years, starting at age 14.
When I was a child and I did the stuff I did, I didn't know how to care. I was careless, I was reckless. I had no idea about life. I didn't know how to care about anything.
Jesse found his purpose in the kitchen and hopes his past helps change the future.
The reason why I really wanted to share my story is because I want to inspire the youth. I want to inspire people. I want to let them kids know that they don't gotta go down the road that I went down. There's hope, there's a way. You don't have to settle for being a criminal. You don't have to settle for a label or a title that somebody puts on you.
If you would like to try some of Jesse's desserts, they are available at farmers markets in the South Sound, Auburn, Federal Way, and Puyallup.
I will be going to each and every one of them. Now we're going to meet another inventor in Renton, but instead of revolutionizing dessert, he's breaking down barriers in the world of fitness. Steve Ferreira doesn't like to take no for an answer.
No.
He's a top-level athlete and an advocate for people with disabilities.
Every child should live in a world where they feel loved.
Now, with the help of some students and their teacher, Creed Nelson, Steve has also become a bit of an inventor.
This should be fun.
He was born with cerebral palsy, a condition that makes it difficult to move and speak.
There you go.
But he communicates just fine with the manufacturing and design students here at Renton's Lindbergh High.
What other idea, Steve? He comes in and within 5 minutes, he's won over the whole class. Yeah! They absolutely love this guy.
Together, they're creating prototypes of fitness equipment that can be used by people of every type of ability. Despite the medals he's earned in para-athletics, Steve has felt the burn of ignorance at the gym.
Employee said to me, "Why are you here? You're in a wheelchair."
Wow.
People with disabilities can work out.
Steve's dream is that one day soon, people with disabilities will be able to exercise side by side with everyone else. And he's not planning to take no for an answer.
This is how I live my life. I may not be perfect, but I can still be like you.
Steve's a great guy. He also runs a company called Beyond Disabilities, where he goes into classrooms and he talks to kids about living with a disability. He's opened a lot of hearts.
That's awesome. And he's really funny. They have stories that Jim won't even tell me. They go way back.
Yeah. Some of them involve me sitting on an office chair with wheels on it,
Yeah.
hanging onto the back of his wheelchair, and him driving way too fast through a middle school. But we'll save that story for another day.
Yeah.
From the slums of Brazil to the center spotlight.
Oh my God, I was completely speechless.
The incredible story of PNB's principal dancer. And meet the wounded warrior who's showing kids how to stay on target.
Welcome back to this special edition of Evening. We are celebrating people who are doing amazing things against the odds.
One of them is the principal dancer at Pacific Northwest Ballet. Jonathan Batista's journey to the PNB stage was anything but easy. He grew up in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro's poorest slum, the City of God. His family and community rallied around his talent, and he earned a full scholarship to the English National Ballet School. Jonathan eventually danced around the world, but he faced more barriers.
It was always something that was lacking, something that in the ballet world there was a certain resistance to my talent because black bodies was not understood. There was not a representation at that time.
But in 2021, his journey brought him to Seattle, and in 2022, he became PNB's first black principal dancer in the company's 50-year history.
Oh my God, I was completely speechless. It's really about, kids coming to the theater and seeing their reflection on the stage.
It's so powerful because when kids see something, they know they can be something.
Absolutely, and that's certainly the case in Mount Lake Terrace, where a wounded warrior is helping kids stay on target. Keith Sikora knows pain, but he has also tasted triumph. A Gulf War veteran and King County Sheriff's deputy, Keith had already more than answered the call of duty.
I've always been that person to try to help.
A special edition of NBC Nightly News.
And then,
terrorists declare war on the United States.
America's darkest day. Keith enlisted in the Air Force, eventually serving with the bomb squad in Afghanistan, where in an instant, his life was changed forever.
felt like somebody hit me in the back with a baseball bat.
Apparently struck by a bullet.
I went down.
His body armor had torn into an artery.
32 hours later, I started having strokes. So I had lost the ability to walk.
But this warrior would not give up easily.
I spent a year in Walter Reed. I had to learn to walk and talk, use my arm.
As Keith's body and mind continued to heal, he took up adaptive archery, finding the target any way he could.
Get set and fire away.
Even now,
2 for 2.
He's giving back to his country and his newly adopted sport.
Relaxed, just shoot.
As a competitor, instructor, and coach.
3 years into shooting, I made the national team. There you go.
Keith Sikora continues to prove he can take a hit and keep on fighting.
If you don't keep going, what do you got?
You know, archery isn't Keith's only sport. He also competed in seated volleyball at the Warrior Games.
So impressive. Okay, our next story is about an artist who suddenly and unexpectedly lost her vision, but she did not stop creating, thanks in part to her Seattle Art School.
So much is created by so many hands in this space. The Seattle Artist League.
So you can think about Cezanne.
Ruthie V is a co-founder and teacher. This is her longtime student, Kathy Paul.
That's what keeps you alive, is doing something you really love to do.
Right away, Ruthie recognized her talent.
And I thought she had a little something in her drawing. So every time I came around, I'd kind of peek over her shoulder and check it out. And then one week I came around and I peeked up behind her and she wasn't drawing very well.
That's because literally overnight, Kathy's world had gone dark.
I woke up and it was like explosions, like fireworks. So I had a stroke in both optic nerves, and after the second one, I could barely see.
She could only make out high contrast objects and couldn't see color.
They said that what I had, I wouldn't get better, but they were wrong.
Kathy defied the odds and kept creating.
She was declared legally blind. She could not see her way to find the door, but she called it her rehab. Not every drawing is perfect, but the process that she's developed over time is exquisite.
As weeks passed, Kathy's new perspective became more clear. And the more art she created, the more vision she regained. Colors are now coming back, and she can make out shapes.
Without the school, I don't think I could have made it and be able to see as much as I do now.
I think that part of what she loves about drawing is that she's accepted and that she can come here and be herself.
For all she lost, Kathy Paul also found the most important thing in ways only an artist can express.
I think I came out better for the experience.
So Kathy is still taking classes at Seattle Artist League, and you can too. We have a sign-up link on our website.
The only way I'm going out that door is if someone pushes me out of it.
How a Seattle glassblower turned deep loss and a personal triumph. Next.
Welcome back to this inspiring edition of Evening. We are sharing stories of people who prevail against the odds.
Yeah, you know, with great pain, there can also be great beauty. And that's how a Seattle glassblower took the worst year of her life and turned it into something special. Breathtakingly beautiful.
Captivating.
Yet frighteningly fragile. That is the way of glass and of life.
I mean, it's still heartbreaking because generally speaking, when something breaks, it's right at the end.
Min-hee England knows the struggles and triumphs of the hot shop and of the world outside. She lost her husband and fellow glass artist, Jesse, to a rare form of cancer.
We shared all parts of our lives together. We made art together, we lived together, worked together, an amazing life together.
One of their passions was helping to grow the Seattle company called Artful Ashes, which creates memorial glass art infused with the ashes of loved ones.
Healing and helping people with my passion, which is glass.
But the art of glass can also help heal the artist. From the depths of her grief, Min Hee gathered her strength and took on a new challenge before the eyes of the world.
Jesse was the one that encouraged me to do it.
Glassblowers, welcome to the Hot Shop.
She joined the cast of a Netflix reality competition that she and Jesse used to watch together. It's called Blown Away.
3 or 4 months before he passed away, he told me, "You need to do this show. I'm pretty sure that you'll win if you do it, if they accept you on the cast."
The only way I'm going out that door is if someone pushes me out of it.
Min Hee finished the competition in an impressive second place. And simply being there was a triumph.
That was his last gift to me. He really brought a lot of people together. These forces in life that maybe otherwise wouldn't have come together. And now that he's gone, I think that a lot of that is still here with us.
All right, in addition to continuing her work with Artful Ashes, Min Hee also makes one-of-a-kind pieces.
Yes, you can find them at the Corning Museum of Glass shop.
Still to come, the show connecting disabled comedians and audiences through laughter.
Welcome back to our special edition of Evening. We want to end tonight's show with some laughs.
Yes, and some of the funniest people in Seattle have put themselves on what they call the disabled list.
I know there's certain things I'll never be able to do, like use chopsticks and play chopsticks.
At the Disabled List Comedy Fest, don't hate yourself for laughing.
You're encouraged to laugh, in fact, highly encouraged to laugh.
Kayla Brown has muscular dystrophy. Dan Hurwitz is missing some digits. The two friends have spent their entire lives using humor to put people at ease.
I truly believe that comedy is just that way to get to know people. And this woman opens a door for me that leads to a staircase. And I thought, is this a threat? It's kind of refreshing to have people laugh at my misery instead of like feeling sorry for me about my misery, because honestly, I find it funny too when bad things happen.
Anybody else in this room ever get tired of being told they're inspirational just because they have a disability? I sit on my butt 18 hours a day, and I'm supposed to inspire able-bodied people to get up off of their butt.
Dan and Kayla founded the Disabled List Collective in 2018 to get more comedians with disabilities sharing their funny stories on stage.
I had a guy be like, "Are you really deaf? Because you're really pretty for a deaf girl."
Every laugh is the connection, realization that like passengers on a plane.
Sir, a young child with only one arm just got on board the airplane. Maybe you'd like to say something to him?
We're all just trying to make our way through life as best we can.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks for being here. You guys are amazing. Thanks a lot.
If you'd like to see one of their shows, you can check out the Disabled List website. We have a link to that on our website.
And if you know of an inspiring story you think we should cover, reach out and let us know.
Yeah, we're going to leave you tonight with music from the South Sound Jazz Band, Velocity, and one last inspiring story. Pianist Peter Adams is living without kidneys. He's on a waiting list for a transplant and does dialysis 4 days a week.
And yet he keeps composing, playing gigs, and teaching piano. A truly incredible guy. This is his original song, Magnetar.